And we're back here, second hour. On Friday this week, he just didn't want to come in. He was so depressed about the Cardinals' moves on Tuesday. He didn't want to come in. So he's here on Friday. Bruce Cooper, local legend, 34-year Channel 12
I've got to point this out because as I'm looking at the screen, Bruce, you make Big Steve look small. That white jersey.
I know, and he's taller than I am right now.
Look at that.
I'm going to do this for him.
Look at that.
There we go. Yeah, that's a bright white jersey there as well. It gives me you give me some color, Bruce.
All right, cool.
Don't look as white.
Well, let me tell you guys this. I've seen enough of Monty Austin.
Yeah.
I
was going to say,
really, truly have.
You're coming in on a Friday. We always appreciate you coming in, whether you're right or wrong or close to right. But you lead us here. Where's the first topic?
I think Monty Austin Ford has failed the Cardinals and their fan base.
Really?
I really do. I mean, it's already been well documented before this new league year started that he's yet to produce a single Pro Bowler relative to the draft or free agency, or even trade for that matter.
Yeah.
And then I look at what just took place, what's taking place right now in this current free agency period. Hey, you heard that old saying, you don't quit your job unless you have another one?
Yeah.
Well, you don't get rid of a franchise-type quarterback unless you have another one already in place.
Well, they did.
No, Gardner Minshew, right?
Well, there's the backup, but obviously they liked Brissett.
Hey, let me tell you something. Brissett, there's another old saying. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. I mean, we've had 11 years of Jacoby Brissett. 4 different stops as a starter.
Keep talking.
He has proven who he is. He was 1-11. I mean, he was 1-11 as a replacement to Kyler Murray. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Cardinals were 2-3 with Murray, but I look at 2 games in which the Cardinals should have won the 49ers and the Tennessee Titans. They'd be 4-1. Maybe Jonathan Gannon is still here if Monty Austin Ford had done a better job of putting playmakers around Kyler Murray. And that's my biggest problem.
Right.
Is his lack of placing playmakers around Kyler. He's the type of guy to come in and say, hey, Kyler, here's that cape. Go put it on. Let's go win it. Come on, man.
But nobody could anticipate Kyler Murray taking a snap off his face and hurting his foot. Come on.
Well,
nobody had that in the cards.
Hey, that's beside the point. The point is you have to recognize talent, and look, the numbers scream it. The numbers scream it. I know a lot of people like to talk about Kyler was here for 7 years. Well, but he only played 5 years. Do the math. 87 career games. 17 times 5 is 85. So he played 87 career games. He played 5 years. Right. In 5 years, he had 153 touchdowns he was responsible for. 121 passing, 32 rushing. That's 30 touchdowns a year. Now, you give this guy some better playmakers, like he had the year when he had, again, I've talked about this before. Yeah, D-Hop, Christian Kirk, A.J. Green, Chase Edmonds, Zach Ertz, and James Conner. All right, that was his offense. They were 7-0, 10-2. D-Hop goes down, they don't win another game. I mean, they finished 1-5.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what happened in the offseason. They let Christian Kirk get away in free agency. They let Chase Edmonds get away in free agency. And they already knew that D-Hop was going to be suspended for the first 6 games because of PED use. So all of a sudden now, you don't have the same type of playmakers or talent around Kyler Murray. And then Murray, by midseason, suffers an ACL. I mean, an injury. It reminds me of the 98 Cardinals. They came here in 88, finally made the playoffs. Chris Jackie, field goal at Sun Devil Stadium. The fans stormed the field. Cardinals' first playoff game against Dale Hellestrate's Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, 98.
Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin. They beat the triplets, and then they went to Minnesota the next year. I mean, the Cardinals, I'm traveling with them both times. Matter of fact, I have Channel 12 personnel calling me, Coop, do you know what time the Cardinals are landing? There's a big scene at the airport right now. As a matter of fact, I would later come back to in Arizona because I stayed in Dallas overnight. Come back. I look at all the footage. Do you know that the Cardinals had to set up an impromptu stage on the executive terminal because the fans just overtook Sky Harbor, and the Cardinals did an impromptu press conference on the tarmac because that's how zany and crazy the fans were.
How popular they were.
Yeah, I went to Minnesota the following week. There's Mark Curtis, Sean McLaughlin, and myself. We're all in Minnesota. Matter of fact, Sean was our weather guy at the time.
I was going to say, he was weather back then.
He teed me off. You know why? Because, Mark started off the newscast inside the hotel lobby with a fireplace. Well, Sean, it's snowing. He wants to do weather outside, so they moved the set outside. And it's too short of a turnaround for him to get back inside because sports comes on after weather. I have to do my sports out in the freaking snow. But I'm telling you, it was an inclement situation. Do you know what happened in the offseason? Cardinals started losing all their choice free agents.
Yeah.
Lomas Brown. Jameer Miller. It just didn't matter.
Right.
And so the Cardinals did the same darn thing here in 2022 after their 2021 playoff run. It just doesn't make sense. They can't build up on any darn thing. It's so frustrating to be a fan.
But how do you build up on a team that won 3 games last year?
Well, here's the deal. What you have to do is and again, that's Ossenfort's problem. No playmaker. What you have to do is you have to identify who your core players are. Yeah. At this point, my core player is my quarterback, Kyler Murray. He's one of my core players. I'm not getting rid of Kyler Murray. Look, the numbers scream production. If you have been here like I have and you followed this team with quarterbacks like Derek Anderson, John Navarre, John Skelton, Kevin Cobb, please stop it. Sean King, I have seen enough. I've seen the Cardinals go after old washed up quarterbacks, hoping to get lightning in a bottle like Jim McMahon, Boomer Esiason. Stop it. Stop it. Their best 2 quarterbacks from a production standpoint, Kurt Warner, Carson Palmer.
Right.
When I have a guy that's averaged 30 touchdowns in 5 years, I just said, okay, I need to do a better job of putting people around him. I'm not going to Jacoby Brissett. I'm not going to Gardner Minshew. And then here's the deal. So there's now here's the latest narrative. Well, the 2027 quarterback class looks really good. They're showing like 5 different franchise quarterbacks. Man, come on, people. How many times do we see drafts in which look, you can go down the line.
Oh yeah.
We saw people like Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson. All these guys. Look, are you satisfied with just drafting a quarterback, a player that has QB at the end of his name? That's what it seems like to me.
Well, and guess what? If you're looking for next year, if you are, and say Arch Manning becomes all that in a bag of nuts, just assume that, and assume's a dangerous word. Say he does.
He hasn't impressed me that much.
But say he does.
Okay.
The New York Jets have 3 first-round picks next year. Yeah. They have a big. You ain't getting him.
Yeah, and how many times do we see this? There's like 5 projected franchise quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Well, by the time we get around to draft in April of 2027, that number will be down to 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, man. It's just so frustrating to me. And now I'm looking at and now this really frustrates the absolute heck out of me. Here's Monty Ossenfort. He goes and he re-signs the venerable James Conner, who's coming off an injury. And then he
restructured it. Yeah.
And then he goes and he signs Tyler Algier from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, those are 2 backs of the same dynamics. They are power backs, short yardage, goal line backs. Though I'll tell you this, Algier is a much better receiver out of the backfield than Conner is, and he's younger. I don't need 2 power backs.
Algier will also run it outside off the tackle, whereas Conner's more of a between the tackles.
He can bounce it outside, but here's the problem. And so the Cardinals, they're bringing back Trey Benson. They re-signed Bam Knight, and so you think, man, I guess their running back room is solid. They still lack because they got rid of DeMarcado. He was the closest thing they had to burst, explosion, speed, house call. You need a player like that. The Cardinals could potentially have a guy like that in Jeremiah Love, third overall pick. And the way their roster's shaping up, it looks like. And even they're signing a bunch of offensive linemen too, old guys, Matt Pryor, Elijah Wilkins, those guys. It's almost like, okay, let me look. It looks like maybe they are looking defense again. And David Bailey, I think he'll probably wind up going second to the Jets. So then that leaves like Arvell Reese, Ruben Bain. Really? Really? I mean, come on. They spent a lot of money on Josh Sweat last year. That Sweat was their leading sack guy. I mean, a good deal. But at the end of the day, the Cardinal fan base is not going to get excited over an offensive lineman. First overall, they're not going to get excited over Arvell Reese or a Ruben Bain, but a guy like Love who can inject some juice into your offense. He's not only a pristine running back, he's a terrific receiver out of the backfield, much in the same vein as a Christian McCaffrey or a Bijan Robinson. Come on, man, you got a dual threat guy in the backfield. That's why I'm so frustrated. I'm so frustrated.
Well, let me change the perspective. Or what I think they are doing is they noticed, and we all saw it last year. I think you even admit this. Jacoby Brissett's a pocket quarterback. Gardner Minshew can run, but he's older. He prefers to throw from the pocket as well. If you give him time to throw the football, he's going to have success.
Steve, there are too many elite pass rushers in this league. Just because you go and draft and build an offensive line doesn't mean that you're not going to give up pressure. I mean, okay, but look, you could have they had Nate Newton.
I'm gonna let the offensive lineman come into this.
It's changed. It's definitely changed over the years.
They can look.
Okay, let me change this up. Seattle Seahawks offensive strength was what?
Probably
the offensive line was really good.
I'll say their running game. Let me tell you
why was their running game good? The offensive line. The Rams have a really good offensive line.
Let me tell you
49ers, good offensive line.
Let me tell you something. First of all, running backs can make their line look better than they are.
They can.
I saw that with Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
I told the story before, but Buddy Ryan's son was the agent to an offensive lineman. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Signed a big signing bonus. He's Cardinals starting left tackle. Cardinals were trash, and this guy was trash.
Yeah.
He leaves, goes to the Lions. It's the year Barry Sanders rushed for 2,000 yards. Now, the same guy that was garbage in Arizona on their line, all of a sudden he's part of a line that's giving 2,000 yards for Barry Sanders. How many times have you seen Barry Sanders elude people in the backfield?
I think it was all offensive line, Coop.
Well, yeah, right. But to that point, Seattle, I don't even think they had a single offensive lineman that was a first-round pick.
But they played as a team. And
okay. So your point is you don't have to draft an offensive lineman in the first round to have a team.
I'm also saying don't draft an offensive lineman number 3, but that's what they're going to end up.
I really believe it. I believe that, or it's going to be. I really believe it's going to be a defensive lineman now, based on what I'm seeing.
It could be either one, but I think they're leaning towards that. That Miami, they got to get a big tackle in here on the
if you're talking about Detroit.
Francis Mauga can get beat to the backfield just like Josh Fryer can.
Hey, you talked about Detroit and no first round picks. The Cowboys, that line of the 90s, the highest pick ended up being Larry Allen, who's a second round pick. And everybody else was third rounds or free agents.
Right. And I remember the Hogs with Joe Bugle in Washington. I mean, it was nothing but late rounder free agents. I don't need to go. I mean, I don't know why people get so enamored with this. I'd rather take a skill-positioned player. Those are the people who stand out. Those are the people who make plays when games are on the line. That's why I know Kyler should be successful in Minnesota. I have seen Kirk Cousins, and they just throw the ball up. Just when you think that the Vikings are going to lose a game, they throw the ball up, and somehow, some way, Justin Jefferson has come down with that ball. It's a first down. They wind up getting a touchdown, and they win the game. You need playmakers.
Let me, for sake of argument, let me throw this at you about Jacoby Brissett.
Okay.
All right, so you got LaFleur in here.
Mm-hmm.
Came from where?
The Rams, most recently.
Well, what was the Rams' offense? It was a 38-year-old quarterback,
play action,
and drop back.
But now let's look at now with the same quarterback that was in Detroit, who couldn't win a damn thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But you put him in Los Angeles with playmakers? What? Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams.
Hold on, though. But nobody thought Puka was going to be what he is.
That's
coaching, and that's the offense.
Hey, let me tell you something. That's beside the point. No one thought Amon-Ra St. Brown would be who he is. He was like a third round.
He
pick.
was a high. He
was like a third round. No. Look. I'm telling you. Playmakers make a difference. That's why Jared Goff. The Rams got rid of Jared Goff because they thought he was garbage. They put him in Detroit. Detroit has Jahmyr Gibbs, David Robinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. I mean, those guys, and all of a sudden, they are Super Bowl contenders, man.
Well, what's so fascinating, you look at that trade.
It's worked out for both teams.
And it worked out for both teams, didn't it?
It really did. It really did. And it worked out for both teams because Detroit had a GM that was starting to accumulate these playmakers. And then when Stafford went to L.A., they had playmakers like Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Todd Gurley. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. They win a Super Bowl. Matter of fact, some dude named Cooper Kupp was offensive league MVP, and he was Super Bowl MVP.
Right.
Playmakers do make quarterbacks better.
Yeah, but Cooper Kupp's not a guy that you looked at and you're like a superstar. But this is my point, though.
It's
an offensive line that gives you enough time for the offense to develop with LaFleur's offense that he's bringing in here, and you have time. That whole left side with Paris and the guy from the Steelers.
Yeah,
that left side, you don't have to worry about it. They're going to get beat sometime. Every offensive lineman does. So then you got the right side now. But does that give Brissett enough time for the developing and the skill guys they have now to get it? Is it the skill guys you want? No. Is it the skill guys I want? No. But look what they've done with guys in the LaFleur system with McVay and everything to go out there.
And the one thing that we haven't said anything yet, the staff was new in Detroit because loudmouth there, big boy.
We're eating kneecaps.
Campbell.
Yeah, he's been there, 3 years,
Dan
maybe
Campbell.
4?
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously they built that up. In Los Angeles, you got arguably the best coach.
Sean McVay.
Yeah. And how many times do you see a player that brings in a staff that can make players that are B players and turn them into A- players?
It can happen. We saw it in Chicago. Eberflus is out. You bring in Ben Johnson. Now Ben Johnson goes to Caleb Williams and says, "Hey Caleb, look, I have this offensive system, but hey, look, I want to know what your best plays are. What routes, what things do you like to do?" And he incorporated that in his system, in his offense system. And all of a sudden, Caleb Williams playing like he did when he was at Oklahoma, playing like he did when he was at USC. It does make a difference.
That's all I'm saying. Am I enamored by the guys they've signed? No.
You had Drew Petzing, who came in behind Cliff Kingsbury. Now, Kingsbury with Kyler. With Kingsbury, Kyler's Rookie of the Year and 2-time Pro Bowler. They've had some real big production. You bring in Drew Petzing. He says, "Here's my offensive system."
Yes.
And it's tailored to a straight drop back. Now, Kyler's plays outside the pocket, purely ad lib, purely ones that he create. Whereas
they wanted him to knock that off under pending system.
Whereas in Chicago with Caleb Williams, they had designed rollouts, and so that's a big difference. He's going to go to Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell's going to do the same thing. What are your strengths? Let's put some plays to what I like to do, and we'll make this thing.
And I'll go one step further. I bet you Kevin O'Connell already knows what he likes.
Sure, and he's going to design it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I look back on the Cardinals. All the quarterbacks you listed earlier, the two that had a lot of success are Kurt Warner and Carson Palmer. What did they do differently than they normally? Normally, they throw a quarterback out there, and this is our system. You don't see the system change. The system was changed for Carson Palmer. The system was changed for Kurt Warner's strengths.
No, here's the deal.
That was the difference.
Here's the deal. With Kurt Warner was a savvy veteran, and you had a snotty nose, and I'm just saying that because he was young, Matt Leinart. Okay? Now, let's look at the playmakers that Leinart checked down to that Kurt Warner's looking at. Larry Fitzgerald, Anquan Bolden, Edgerrin James. Hey, man. 2 of the 3 are Pro Bowlers. I mean, are Hall of Famers. Yeah. I think Q should be one. It's a huge difference.
Right.
Huge. Now let's go to Carson.
No, I get that, but what did they do though? Matt Leinart was checking the ball down, throwing those underneath down. Kurt Warner, and all of a sudden we're throwing deep. We're throwing deep and stuff to that effect. That's an offensive change.
No. It was the experience of the guy behind center. Is what I'm trying to tell you. I understand that. And so that's not an issue in Arizona. They have with the Cardinals this time. They have quarterbacks who are experienced behind center, be it Jacoby Brissett, be it Kyler Murray, be it Gardner Minshew. That's not an issue. Now the big issue is how can I best, exploit or make my offense the best it can be. Well, let me give my best quarterback a dynamic runner, a guy who we've already shown. We already know this for a fact. Only 2 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL has done what Kyler's done his first 5 years in the league. Throw over 100 passes, run for over 30 touchdowns. That'd be Josh Allen and Cam Newton. I didn't make that stat up. I read it.
No, that is true. I saw that too.
Okay. Yeah. So already I know I have some dynamic there. Why don't I do – now, look, I love what Buffalo's doing. Buffalo, I mean, I think they've kind of failed Josh Allen these last couple of years. They've gone out and they've addressed the wide receiver position. Again, they make the trade and they bring in DJ Moore. Mm-hmm. You have to do that. In Baltimore, heck, well, they've been trying to draft wide receivers and stuff like that to complement Lamar. Then they go and they said, okay, well, let's make the running game. Let's take some of that running pressure off him and go get probably the biggest bruising running back that you can ever think of in Derrick Henry.
Right.
I mean, name me one player like that the Cardinals have brought in.
But Cardinals aren't going to do that, though. Huh? That's my point. Cardinals aren't going to do that.
Well, but that's the problem. That's why I'm telling you. I'm so upset with Monty Ossenfort. Let's move on.
I'm so beaten down by the Cardinals. Here's what the Cardinals did different this year that they haven't done before.
Okay, I'm all
First day of free agency, they addressed positions they had open on the first day of free agency, whether you like it, whether you consider these good signings or not. Right? They went out and got Siamalu. They got Algier. They got Minshew on that day. Kendrick Bourne as well. They got on that. Cardinals normally sit back at the beginning of free agency and go, all right, we'll just get the scraps afterwards. Regardless if they signed the guys or not, they were more aggressive than they have been before.
I remember day one a couple years ago, they signed Bilal Nichols. They signed Justin Jones. Yes. I mean, I'm talking about guys on the first day. Yes. And they've Dalvin Tomlinson
in injuries.
They've been bust. Everything they have done, free agency, everything they've done, trade, everything they've done, draft, a colossal bust.
Yeah. So that comes down to
him.
It not comes being able to player acquisition and evaluation.
Absolutely.
And then it also comes down to, tell me this, do you have more confidence in LaFleur than you had in Petzing?
Absolutely. Make no mistake about it.
Because we all think we know what's going to happen. We all think that Kyler Murray's going to go to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Got a hell of an organization. Sure. Got a great head coach, and he's going to revert back to Pro Bowl.
Great organization as a whole.
I do believe that.
And so maybe with the new coach, with the new offense, with things like that, maybe some of these guys can Maybe unlocks Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know.
If this was Jonathan Gannon, I would be on your negative bandwagon. But with LaFleur,
I'm not going to blame Jonathan Gannon, Monty Ossenfort, or Drew Petzing for Marvin Harrison Jr.'s fallacies. You're a professional player. The ball hits you in the hand. Catch the damn ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that simple. I don't know what his problem was, but I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty close to cutting the cord on him.
No, this is year 3. Really, this is the year you decide.
Well, he's shown me consistently in years 1 and 2 that he doesn't catch the ball consistently.
But see, you hope to see that jump into, okay, guess what? I'm not running against the cornerback from Northwestern.
Dale.
I'm not running against the cornerback from Rutgers. I'm
going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
I don't spend the 4th overall pick in the first round to watch somebody make a jump. Hell, they should already be at that jump level you're trying to talk about. They should be.
Yeah, but
at.
I'm not going to blame. I'm not going to blame Monty for him at number 4 because
now,
everybody and their dogs had him at that spot.
That I just said. I don't blame them for that.
That's on the players' side. But my bigger issue here is the way I'm looking at the Cardinals right now. If I sit back and look at it, not as a fan or somebody invested in the team, I'm looking at it as this team has improved on the offensive side.
How?
I just explained it to you.
Dude,
but listen,
come on.
Listen to me.
You're naming me guys that.
I'm sorry. Allgaier's better than DeMarcado. Jeez Louise, Coop. What's he ever done in his life?
No. DeMarcado brings something that Algier doesn't.
Oh, okay.
And I don't. And here's the deal.
Toughness?
I don't mind having Algier and DeMarcado on the same roster. I would have rather
have had DeMarcado than Bam Knight. I'll tell you that.
Let's put it like this. Again, before we came on air, I told you in DeMarcado's 2-3 year career with the Cardinals, he's had about 4 or 5 70+ touchdown runs.
Great.
One didn't count. Now, in Trey Benson's 2 years, he hadn't even had a 20-yard run.
I think Trey Benson's the guy on the outside.
Well, here's the deal, and this is what I look at. Monty Ossenfort, that was his draft pick, a 3rd-round pick, and it's like, damn, I'm gonna keep running this guy. Dude, he sucks. He's not that guy. Well, admit it, cut bait and move on.
All my point is I'm seeing LaFleur come in here with what he's signing and what they're focused. We're seeing what they're focusing on. Yes, they're not the skilled players we all want them to have, but they're coming in here and they're sending the clear message. Running game's going to be big. Our offensive line's going to be improved to help the quarterbacks out. They have a bona fide 3rd receiver on this team now in Bourne. Bourne can step in and be that 3rd receiver. Now you need Marv to step up. They're building a team on the offensive side, and they're telling you what the thing is. They're going to come in here with a Rams type of an offense. Now, can you pull it off is another side of it, is the question. If this was Gannon making these moves, I'm throwing my hands up like you are and throwing my – but you've got to, at this point, you've got to look at it and say LaFleur is showing us what his offense wants to be. Now they're going to have to improve, guys, as they go on. Don't trust me. These aren't the guys that – they have their heart set on. They're working within the system the Cardinals can work in, but they're telling you what this offensive system's going to be right now. It's going to be hard-nosed. By re-signing Bam Knight and not DeMarcado, you got physicality at the running game. We don't know how James Conner's coming back, but we know he's a physical running back.
He's the same dude as Algier. You got 2 guys in one, yet you still lack burst.
We know Bam Knight is a physical running back. Physicality is what he's looking for right now. Your receivers, you're going to open up that receiving game 4% like the Rams do with these low-end guys.
Steve, you would make a horrible GM, just like Ossenfort. Why do you need 2-3 guys that are the same dude?
Hey, let's get back to this. Don't you think that LaFleur had to sign off on the quarterback move?
Yes.
Don't you think when he decided to take the job that he said, I'm comfortable with Brissett?
How do you know it went like that?
I'm wondering.
How do you know that it didn't go like, hey, we're moving on from Kyler.
Yeah.
Are you okay with Brissett?
Right.
I mean, you don't, because clearly the disconnect was between Ossenfort and Kyler and not Jonathan Gannon and Kyler, and not Drew Pesci and Kyler.
I've said that on there several times.
Right.
Austin Fort and Murray was the issue.
It's unquestionably that way.
Okay.
And so my problem is like, okay, Austin Fort, what's your game plan? Okay, and then when you see that, and I've seen a lot of naysayers already. Were the Cardinals ever a player from Malik Willis? At least Malik Willis was a dual threat guy. Now, look, I'll admit this: he doesn't even have the resume that Kyler has.
Right.
He was a flop in Tennessee,
Here's what's
and he
interesting.
has like a 5 or 6 game sample in Green Bay in which he stood out. Now we've seen other people have short samples, right? We've seen other guys have short samples that got them big money that were flops.
And sometimes here.
My thing on Willis is usually when a guy signs someplace, you hear the rumors of this is what the Cardinals were talking and offering about another team. You've heard none of that. I firmly believe Malik Willis has always eyed the Dolphins. Once Hadley went there, he was always going to the Dolphins, and the Cardinals had no say in it, so they had to go on it. The thing that worries me the most is they did go after Jimmy G and hit a snag, is what's being reported. From there, and they couldn't get Jimmy G. That's alarming to me, because how do you not pull Jimmy G over unless you just flat out told him come be our backup because Brissett's our guy.
No, they would have told him to come and compete for the starting job.
But that's what worries me a little bit on that. I'm just saying, Coop, is if you want to look at it as an optimistic, I'm not saying these are the right moves, and I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl this year or make it to the playoffs.
Be honest with you,
They're building a physical
I'm
team.
okay with Isaac Ciamulo. I've watched him play. He's a physical guard
And he's playing
really
next to
stands out.
Paris Johnson now.
Well, let me tell you
That's
something.
going to make Paris's job a lot easier.
Well, Evan Brown didn't do too badly the year before.
But this is a step up from Evan Brown.
But you know, again, Jacoby Brissett is a good quarterback, okay, but he's not a franchise quarterback.
No doubt about it.
Not even close. And so I'm asking, Cardinals, is your game plan really? Because look, I think the Cardinals could be a team that could win 7, 8, maybe 9 games if they're lucky.
This year?
Yeah.
Not over the next 2 years?
And you're questioning Mike talk right here?
I'm saying, I said, did you hear what I said? If they're lucky.
Yeah.
You guys got to catch that.
Right.
If they're lucky. Yeah. But at the end of the day, now if they're lucky and do that, Dale, are they in the Arch Manning sweepstakes?
No.
Are they in any franchise? No. And that's my whole point. Right. They don't have a game plan. They don't, and the quarterback position is the most important position on the field. That's why I'm saying, don't quit your job unless you have another one. Don't get rid of a potential franchise until I'm positioned to get another one. That's all I'm saying.
It's like these two years, if you need a quarterback, are the 2 worst years to need a quarterback.
And that's why I don't get rid of them.
You know?
Exactly. No, you hit the nail on the head. Yeah. Why don't get rid of them?
All right, Coop, but there's got to be some. I guess we're almost to the bottom of the hour, but can we flip the switch a little bit and talk about something positive?
Well, really quick, because how does this change the Cardinals draft? Because you said you agree they're not going with the skill position at the beginning. You're thinking defensive line or an offensive tackle, probably at that point. Is that what you still see?
It would be a colossal mistake. Yeah, I would still go with Jeremiah Love. I can always still hope. I can always still hope and pray.
Yeah, look, you're still on that Kyler bandwagon.
I'm telling you. I told you guys this. I was at home on a Sunday afternoon. I got my split screens going. I got 2 screens going. I'm watching the Cardinals somehow blow a game with Tennessee that goes to overtime.
Yeah.
I'm watching Detroit put on a great rally, and now their game goes to overtime. Detroit, 1 play, Jahmyr Gibbs, 71-yard house call. Lions, they're winners. And
I just figured out what Coop's problem is.
Now I'm watching the Cardinals, and 2 running plays, get 3 yards, incomplete pass. They punt. Tennessee goes down, kicks the game-winning field goal, another walk-off loss. Yeah. Now, I'm just telling you, the Cardinals are devoid of that. And then I hate to jump around, but then I'm at the Cardinals' final home game against the Atlanta Falcons. Some dude named Bijan Robinson. The play is designed to go one way. He stops, reverses, goes the other way, like 35-yard gain.
Right.
Do we
Wide
have
open.
anybody like that on the Cardinals roster? That's my whole point.
I think I realize what Coop's problem is. After 34 years of covering this team here with Channel 12, and then how many years in retirement now? So we're pushing
5.
almost 40 years now on the Cardinals. And you still think that this team's going to operate like every other good team out there in the league.
I'm just frustrated at it.
that's
I
your
really
problem.
am. I'm just frustrated.
Some of us have
It
realized
drives
the
me
Cardinals are
frickin'
going
crazy.
to operate on a budget. They shop at Ross. They shop at TJ Maxx when everybody else is at Nordstrom.
But let me tell you, you're going to have to pay the number 3 pick the same money regardless of the position.
Oh, trust me. I'm on your bandwagon. I just know what's coming.
Why don't you do the Macy's thing then and pick that damn guy?
Go out of business?
Because history has shown you were in this position in 2007. But you went with Levi Brown and let Adrian Peterson go. History shows this 2 years ago, you were in this position. You not only traded down and let Will Anderson go, but I was fine with that because the guy I wanted the whole time was Bijan Robinson. They didn't do that. And let me tell you something. If you look at the postseason awards, Bijan Robinson was all-pro, led the entire league in not only rushing yards, but yards from scrimmage. Will Anderson, on the defensive side, all-pro. Paris Johnson, not even a Pro Bowl. I'm just saying. I mean, that's what I have watched.
But
I get so damn frustrated because we were in position both times to take playmaking difference makers, guys who make a difference on the football field, who can make plays themselves.
I've come to your way of thinking as far as the playmakers. Okay, over linemen, because you can find if you have a good scouting around, you can find good offensive linemen in the second round and the third round. Now, here's the thing that just puts the frosting on the cake for me. Here you got the Cardinals struggle to put together a talented team, and then you look at their division. Their division, you say Seattle might have lost a couple pieces, they might come back and so instead of winning 14 games or whatever, they only win 11 games.
Isn't that the truth?
Isn't
that the truth? Because we were saying the same thing about the 49ers with all their injuries and stuff.
Yeah, and Mike Evans says, I'm the missing piece.
Dude, did you see that?
Him and Brock Purdy, my goodness.
Oh, man, you know what? And see, that's what's probably, I think that's probably what really got me boiling. I see a team like the 49ers, they add Mike Evans to Brock Purdy's tray of receivers. I'm like, my God.
Look around the whole division, and this is why I kind of gave you a hard time about. You're expecting all this from the Cardinals. They've never operated this way. But you look at the Seahawks lost Kobe Bryant. They were willing to let him go, one of the best safeties, back guys in the league. They were willing to let him go because they had a guy they drafted that played pretty dang well this year, and they're comfortable with him taking over that spot now. Then you got the 49ers who just luck into Brock Purdy after making a horrible quarterback decision with Trey Lance. And then now, they go into this Ayuk situation. And what do? One of the best receivers in the league just goes, I'm going to go to San Francisco for no reason.
I'm telling you.
And then, you got the Rams who are just signing guys left and right. And Puka from the 14,000th round, and all of a sudden he's an all-pro out there. Can't even afford to live in L.A. He has to rent an apartment because he can't afford a house. All of that. And then the Cardinals are just operating this own little world of, we're instead of emulating the teams in their division, Cardinals are like, we're going to emulate Jacksonville.
Steve, you're just depressed. You're just depressing me more and more.
But that's the problem biggest problem the Cardinals have is you look around the division and there are teams in their division, Bruce, just do things that are inexplicable and shouldn't happen in the world of sports. And the Cardinals are actually trying to do it the right way, and it just fails left and right with who they. Monty Osborne has been hurt with his free agents because of injuries. You cannot. Jonah Williams came here as one of the healthiest linemen in all time. Dude couldn't stay on the field because he was hurt all the time. Then he drafts these 2 superstar linemen that are going to be great. You saw it with Walter Nolan. Injuries galore on that side. For the love of God, fix the injuries, man. It's so frustrating.
Well, let me tell you something. You just listed all those injuries, and I don't think any team suffered more injuries than the 49ers.
I know.
And they won.
I'm not saying they didn't.
And,
So
and their highest paid wide receiver didn't play a snap for them.
And so I'm not buying Steve.
I'm not blaming the injuries. What I'm saying is, that to me was on the coaching staff. The coaching staff didn't know what to do with the injuries, and they kind of were like, we're just going to lose. LaFleur gives me a little bit more hope that he actually – did you guys notice? I don't remember his name. Cardinals have hired a couple consultants already for this team. They never did that with Jonathan Gannon.
Who?
I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. I can't remember who it was. But they hired a guy to come in and help the defense out and stuff to that. And it's like, wait, what? Where was that at the last couple years with Gannon and those guys?
Well, to that end, and there's another reason why the Cardinals have failed a quarterback like Kyler Murray. His two head coaches in the National Football League were first-year or first-time head coaches. And just what Steve said, they didn't do like Bruce Arians, who was like 90 when he got his first.
No help at all.
He brought in 200-year-old Tom Moore. We don't see this young, wet behind the ears, Similac on their breath head coaches, bringing in veteran, experienced consultants who can help elevate the experience and knowledge and teachings of some young guy like Kyler.
Yeah, Austin came from the Steelers. Defensive guy, Terrell Austin, they brought in to help out the defense.
Well, he used to be on the Cardinals staff. I
That's
believe
my
would
point.
be A.
But he's coming in as a consultant to help out the defense and help out that side. Where was this from the coaching staff in the past?
Yeah, where has it? Look, look. Maybe Michael's listening because again he's brought in a third straight coach whose first ever head coaching job is with the Cardinals.
But this is the first one where you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Maybe this time he's listening and saying, "Hey, I've been criticized before by not bringing any experienced people in to help my young, wet behind the ears."
But even then, this is the
I'm
first
change
one.
This year.
This is the first one he's hired where you feel like he deserves to have the head coaching spot. Jonathan Gannon, the Eagles fans were like, "Get this bum out of here."
Yeah, you're right.
And then you hire Cliff Kingsbury. This is the first time he's done it where you go, it might be a year early for him to be hired, but this is the guy that is next in line.
You're absolutely
Whereas
right.
the last two, they were not next in line.
No,
They reached for him, and it didn't work out. So that's the difference from that. Let's take our break here, come back, because we got Suns, D-backs, Corbin
Sun
Carroll,
Devils.
DHing,
Let me see if
Arizona Wildcats.
let me see if I can get my mood back.
I know. A little tense in here right now. Come on back, folks. Main event with this guy, Bruce Cooper. No, I mean it's the. I'm not saying they're. I'm not. We're just talking here on the Cardinals thing, but I'm not saying that they're making the moves you want them to make. What I'm saying is they're making quality moves, which the Cardinals don't always do. Is my argument here. Is it going to work out? I don't know. They could go 2 and whatever this year. I don't know what's going to happen. But at least now, if Jonathan Gannon was making these moves, we'd be up in arms about it. We would. Because they're like, what are you doing? This is ridiculous. Yeah. Robert says, when is Coop running for office?
It's kind of interesting that you clean house, but you keep the guy who's made the personnel decisions.
I just wonder with these moves, too, these are different styles. I'm getting the impression with no basis behind it, they're listening to LaFleur and what he wants this offense.
Well, I hope they are because again,
this is different than what they've done in the past.
Again, I have zero problems with any of the 3 offensive linemen that they have signed to date. Siamulu at left tackle, like you said, next to Paris Johnson. Now you got a couple. You're bringing back Elijah Wilkinson, who's one of those swing linemen who can play guard and tackle. Right. Same thing with Matt Pryor.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we're talking about guys that are like, 6'6", 6'7", 330. Yep. I mean, they're big boys.
They're big guys.
And they're experienced. I mean, they can know line calls and see things. And
they're going to step in and have more experience than anybody who's drafted.
So I don't have a problem with that. But I'm telling you, it still goes back to their underwhelming plan at quarterback.
No, I don't disagree. That's why I say, well, Dale, I've been saying it since Monday. Take out the quarterback start of this, and I like what the Cardinals have done because it's showing their thing. Okay. But then you add the quarterback in, and you're like, what are you guys doing? And I wasn't a Malik Willis guy. I was actually, go get Kirk Cousins. And I'm still like, go get Kirk Cousins.
Cousins is 90. He's still not a franchise quarterback.
You were there for the Atlanta game. Did he not just command the Falcons up and down the field like it was nothing?
Are you trying to get a franchise quarterback in here? A franchise quarterback means somebody that's in place for the next 5, 10 years.
Are you getting a franchise quarterback with Gardner Minshew?
No.
What's the difference? Kirk Cousins or Gardner Minshew?
Okay, well, as long as you put it like that, as you're looking at this short term.
Yeah, everything's short term this year. They're not looking at the quarterback position in the future. Haven't they made that clear? They're looking at building this offense around a short-term quarterback. They're not looking at that 10 years from now.
Here's the deal. What sense does that make? That's why you're not giving your fans any hope.
I agree with you on that.
You are trying to say, I'd rather take a step back at quarterback position and now try to build an offense around it when I could have built that thing around at least a
what's
quarterback.
The quickest way to get your fan base on your side? A quarterback that everybody can rally behind. And what did they not do? This is why every other signing looks like garbage because you're prisming it around the quarterback situation and what they've done.
Here's the deal. So what'll happen is whoever the Cardinals draft at quarterback this year,
Ty Simpson, they're going to jump up and get him.
All of a sudden, to me, that quarterback is just a name with the initial QB behind it. It's nothing to get excited about.
No, I agree.
Nothing to get excited about. But that's what they're going to try to sell.
If they get Ty, they're going to have to move up into the first round to get him again. And you don't give up draft capital for that position. They're going to have to because he's going to go late first round.
He's not going to start over Brissett or Minshew. I think Brissett will be the starter.
And my opinion on getting a Ty Simpson in there is it's just like when you drafted all these other guys in there and having. The local kid that's on the team now is I just forgot Keelan. You're just like, okay, he's just going to be on the roster and maybe he'll develop, but probably not. And why put yourself through that?
And look, there are people out there that probably don't understand my disdain for what the Cardinals and Monty Ossenfort is doing at the quarterback position. Look, I've said it before. I'm just going to give. Look, Brissett's a good quarterback. He can pitch the ball around the field, hit his receiver, stuff like that.
He can move the ball.
But now the game is on the line. The game's on the line. And we've seen the Cardinals play a lot of games with the game on the line. Game's on the line. And I'm just going to take you again to Denver and the Patriots. It's 3rd and freaking 6. Denver's down 10-7. They're expecting to get the ball back. They got you covered. Drake May used his feet, picked up 7 yards, first down. That's a play Brissett ain't making.
I agree.
It's a play that Kyler would make. Yeah. So that's why I'm telling you. It just freaking frustrates the actual.
And then it's going to compound itself when you see him lead Minnesota to 11 wins this year.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
I'm so
guaranteed.
Yeah. Robert says, "Isn't 2 and whatever the plan?" I said that on the schedule. Sometimes I question. I question. I'll say this: they're not tanking to where. They're not tanking this year with their free agent signings to where they're going to win 1 or 2 and be in the Arch Manning sweepstakes. They're not planning on doing that.
Yeah,
but then you're in that hell. If you don't get to 8 or 9 wins, then what are you doing?
Let me ask you, what has Arch Manning done at Texas that have really made you say, man, this guy is hit?
Yeah, but wouldn't that be a Cardinals thing that you get the worst Manning ever to come out? Wouldn't that just be a Cardinals thing, Coop?
Just like the Suns always get the worst twin and.
The worst name guy, the same name. Well, Autumn chimes in and says, "I don't know how you boys do it. The amount of times I'd have to ask, why do you hate me? Right? You don't hate me, right? During that conversation is insane." So we're putting out the vibes that we hate each other here, guys, with this conversation.
Not me. I'm just sitting over here minding my own business.
So let's get into something good. Are you watching the WBC?
I am, and let's put it like this. The United States should send over the best Italian wine ever.
Well, all they have to do, Coop, is wait for the Italian players to come back and join their Major League Baseball teams again.
Well, look. Let me tell you something. When the USA lost 8-6 to Italy, I said it's over. It's over. I didn't
Oh,
expect.
hold on. You knew what the seating format was, unlike the manager for the USA Baseball?
The manager and the teams.
Well, look, yeah.
But he
yeah,
misspoke
look,
there. He misspoke.
I knew that it took the top 2 teams from each pool to move on.
He's making fun of the manager for not saying he didn't. They thought they clinched after they beat Mexico. Did you know this?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't hear. Are you kidding?
Oh,
He went on MLB.
Dude, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
He didn't.
No. So you didn't hear this. So
No.
he went on a MajorLeagueBaseball.com show, MLB Central or whatever it's called, and he said, "Oh, since we clinched against Mexico, the team went out and partied a little too much last night, and a lot of guys are kind of hungover today." Yeah, they thought they clinched after Mexico, so they were throwing that game
serious?
away.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
DeRosa admitted it. The team admitted they went out and partied too hard after.
I'm sorry. Well, when did they
No
name
clue.
him manager? They named manager the night before the WBC started.
Yeah.
or
He was
did-
the manager. He was the manager last time they were in the WBC, and then they never said he wasn't going to be again. So he's known. He was in it in 23 as well.
Wow.
or 24.
Wow! Look,
Yeah.
that's news to me, guys. I mean, look, I didn't know that.
That really happened.
I hope you guys ripped the hell out of this guy.
Yeah.
Well,
My
I went so
gosh.
far yesterday as say this American team doesn't care about winning this. They say they care, but they just don't care.
Dude,
That is
so bad.
That is inexcusable. That not
It
just
really
the
is.
manager, the players, nobody around the USA organization, nobody just happened to go over the format.
Yeah, and say, hey, hey, manager.
It's inexcusable.
Hey, Skip, let's check this out one more time.
The U.S. does not get. The U.S. thought they'd show up to this WBC,
Wow.
just coast through, and then have a big game against Japan in the final that hopefully they can win. They don't care about being there in this. Every other team out there, even the Netherlands, Drew Jones was making catches and stuff in the outfield for the Netherlands, and they were playing. They knew they were being eliminated. They knew they sucked.
Hey, look.
Israel knew they sucked. The Czech Republic knew they'd suck. But they were out there having fun, trying to win games, and then there's the U.S. Oh, we don't know what we're doing.
Hey, tip of the cap to Drew Jones. I mean, he was a high draft pick for the Diamondbacks.
He can't get out of
he can't
single
get out of
A.
the mind. Yeah. And
Single A, Coop,
he's
can't get out
been
of
hurt a lot. But let me tell you something. He played well in the WBC.
He made
really
some
did.
unbelievable catch. He covered that
Even-
right field area and was making spectacular couches the whole time.
Yeah, and
he can't get out of the California League.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, that was a tip of the cap to him for that.
Yeah, so it was amazing. But so this weekend, of course, you've got U.S. Canada's tonight. I think it's 5 p.m. our time. It could be 4, but check your ratings there. Then, of course, you have to win to keep them going. If they win this game, Dominican win, they face off tomorrow.
It's win or go home.
Yep. Yeah. Well, man, does the U.S. know that is the question.
That's a good one.
I thought it was double elimination.
That's the thing we got to worry about. Wow. I just contend that the U.S. team, I mean, look, the Italy team's full of American and Major League Baseball players. The Mexican team is filled with American, Major League Baseball players and stuff to that. So, I mean, that's good competition. I get it, but it's just inexcusable to not know the format.
That really is. I mean, that falls squarely.
I question if they want to be there.
That falls squarely on the coaching staff. I mean, they have to know that.
There's no doubt about it.
You would think there'd be a player, though, like, there'd be a player that would be like, guys, I don't think we clinched today.
No, that's
Hey,
the manager's job.
Hey, that board up there says we didn't clinch, guys, in center field that I'm looking at right now. Oh, we clinched? Okay, let's go with it.
Anyway, all right, so
but Diamondback, I want to talk about Corbin Carroll real quick. Got DH the other day, had some hard hits, but he also said his hand hurts.
If he said that, I didn't know that either.
Well,
then they need to sit his butt because sometimes I admire the guy. He's one of one. In that this guy will not take any time off. He won't shortchange you in anything that he does.
He was hitting with one hand in the batting cage.
You need to protect him from himself.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when you have 2 weeks till the start of the season still. You can let him sit out another week.
If his
and have
hand
him do
still
stuff
hurts,
on the
you
side.
need to protect him from himself.
Let me see if I can find his exact quote, because he wore a brace during pregame, but took it off during the actual game and everything. He's using an axe handle because it's less painful to hit the ball as well.
Axe handle?
Yeah, so it's not your standard round bottom.
Oh, you're talking about the bat?
The bat, yeah.
Okay.
And then his hand, he said, quote, doesn't feel perfect, but manageable. What's the harm of keeping him out another week and then he can do the side work and stuff like that. I agree with that. But like you said, he's a warrior. He's back out there and wanting to do what he can do, which is interesting because then you got guys like Ketel Marte.
No doubt. So that's why a manager has to know his players and he has to protect them from themselves, or he has to push.
Maybe
someone.
Torey Lovullo is just not used to guys wanting to play every day. And he doesn't know how to react to it. He's like, what's this? Corbin wants to play. What?
Yeah, like I said, a manager has to know his players. He's got to know which ones to push, which ones to pull back.
The jokes write themselves.
Yeah, I hear you. I get you. I got you 1,000. Got you 1,000.
Merrill Kelly. I'm not Merrill Kelly. Excuse me. Corbin.
Zach Gallen.
Zach Gallen. First, sir. Why do they hate Ryan Nelson so much? Why does Torey Lovullo hate Ryan Nelson?
I don't know. Ryan was their best pitcher last year.
Yeah. And he's always being put into the bullpen unless there's an injury. He's going to be consistent this year. Why not give him the start?
And let me tell you something. Is Eduardo Rodriguez showing you in the WBC why you don't even want him on the staff? I mean, dude, he's mad bomb all over again.
He was did not have had a questionable outing the other night.
My God.
Yeah, and it's just like. But I just don't understand why Torey Lovullo and this team just hate Ryan Nelson as much as they do. This is the kid that should be in the starting lineup. This is the kid that's your most consistent pitcher, and the only time you give him a chance is if there's an injury and you have to use him. And then the second the guy that sucks comes back, you relegate him back down again. What are you doing with this kid?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm interested to see. I think Mike Soroka gets to start for Canada tonight. So
I believe so. I haven't seen the official, but they're saying that.
Yeah, and so look,
Diamondbacks pitcher, if you don't know.
He's a guy that Hazen's kind of counting on.
It is official. Webb and Soroka tonight. Yeah, Logan Webb and Soroka.
Yeah, here's a situation where I'm hoping that Soroka does well, but USA wins later. I really
you want him to get his 4.5 of no hit, and then he goes out, and then they let him up?
I think that's important to help build.
I agree.
Going into the season for the Diamondbacks.
I agree. That's the interesting thing, right? So Diamondbacks talk there. Arizona gets to play again today. They play tonight. None of these morning games for Arizona now. Big 12's changing their court back to a regular basketball court with that failure.
That was weird.
But Arizona, UCF, they were really concerned about that court. They had a lot of upsetness about the court yesterday in the Big 12 and being in the Big 12. If you saw those comments from Tommy Lloyd, they were injured. We didn't ask to be in the Big 12. We were put in the Big 12. And comments like that after yesterday. I'm starting to really question Tommy Lloyd going into this NCAA.
What would prompt that?
He's just a miserable SOB. I don't know. No, the court.
That makes no sense.
The court, the officials, all that stuff. Yeah, it was on his mind. But they were focusing. And again, the court's an issue. Guys were slipping, injury concerns and stuff like that. But they blew out UCF. And their focus after that was on everything but basketball. That alarms me a little bit.
Well, that LED court,
Stupidest thing
I can see where it could be distracting. I can see where it could throw you off.
It floated, so like when you stepped on it, it had some give. It wasn't a hardwood, so it would move.
Yeah.
And then also the seams were uneven, so if you stepped on like a seam area, one would go lower than the other one, kind of like stepping on a step.
You know far more than I did about that.
The visual side of it's ugly.
It definitely is.
The Big 12, the $1 billion organization. The Big 12.
I admire Yormark, Brett Yormark, the commissioner of the Big 12, for trying to be innovative, trying to have be a visionary. But sometimes you can do too much. He's doing too much.
Yeah. Right. I agree. It's
but
a
give
big
him credit
misstep.
then for listening to the coaches and the complaints behind the scenes. Yeah. Good that they didn't come out publicly.
I like how the coaches handled that.
And they changed it back to the
really quick. Bobby Hurley's out. A tough day for you. Kyler Murray is gone. The Cardinals aren't listeing to you, and then Bobby Hurley gets not going to be renewed contract here at the end of the year.
Well, it's for the best. It's time to move on. But the question I have is. Who's that next guy? And whoever that next guy is. And I do like Graham Rossini because I like...
You think him as coach? I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
I like Graham Rossini in that it seems like he's been able to convince President Crow that you have to be a player in the NIL. You have to be a player in terms of spending money to make money and to change the dynamics of our program in our school. And so
I think he's convinced them that sports can lead to more revenue in your education.
Yeah, and so
I think that's what he's
well, whatever it is, whatever he's done, I think he's done a hell of a job because that's not always been the case. And so I even like the resources that are being funneled to the baseball program. Mm-hmm. And so I have no doubts that they will do better than they did for Hurley in terms of giving resources.
Well, they're
to
just
going to
pay more, and then the resources are going to be more. Yeah,
but that's more than what Bobby was dealing with.
I mean, to me, it's got to be a big name underling coach, and you have some guys out there, right? The St. Mary's coach is from this area. His dad.
Well, look. Let me tell you something. Randy Bennett. Look, I know him.
Yeah, that's why I brought him up.
But believe it or not, Dale. He went to Westwood High School.
Yeah.
So I know Randy Bennett. I know his father, Tom, who was a longtime
MCC
coach.
Right?
Yeah, at MCC.
For years.
And so, but if you look at it, I'm looking for someone a little younger than 63 years old.
65, 66.
No, he's 63.
What about San Diego head coach, San Diego State's head coach? He'd be a good option. I just forgot his name.
He's 63 years old, though, Coop, and I'm going to tell you.
That's what I'm saying. I just said I'm looking for someone a little younger.
I know, but here's one of my pet peeves.
Look how picky we're being, Dale.
And no, I'm not being picky at all. I'm just saying my damn pet peeves are I am sick and tired of people at ASU going, we need our next coach for 10 years. We need our next this guy for 10 years. Man, you don't want a guy for 10 years. You want a guy for 3 to 4 to 5 years, build a program, and you hope other suitors come. It would have been great if somebody would have wanted Bobby Hurley. That means he's having success.
Oh, that would have been a dream.
You know? And so he's 63. So he coaches 5 years. If he goes to the tournament 3 of the 5, that's a hell of a tenure, don't you think?
I agree.
And B.
Well, here's the other thing. He's a heck of a basketball coach. And to go, I don't want him because he's 63. I want a younger guy that doesn't have his resume and experience.
Unlike Dale, I was looking for someone that was going to be there longer.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
I'm not a guy that I think after 6-7 years, I think you've worn out your welcome. It's time for you to move on. Whether you move on yourself or you get fired. 10, 11 years is too long.
The Sun Devils have some guy in Kenny Dillingham who's so young.
Yeah.
That I look at him as a 10, 15.
Yeah, he's gonna test my 10 year and it's too long theory. Kenny Dillingham's gonna test.
No,
that.
well, but here's the thing about Kenny Dillingham. If in fact they get things right again,
he will.
You're gonna deal with the every 3 years somebody come a calling.
But I'm okay if it's 10 years if you hit a championship game or something like that, or challenge for a championship. Tommy Lloyd at Arizona for 10 years won't bother me because if he makes it to some Final Fours and gets to those levels. What I don't like is like the John Harbaugh's where, he won a Super Bowl early in his career, made it to the Super Bowl early, and then for the last 8 years, it's just been dropping out in the first round of the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
That's where you go, okay, it's time to move on. You waited too long to move on from him and stuff like that.
Did I tell you guys I expect Mikey King to beat out Cutter Boley?
You did?
Okay. I just want to make sure of that.
Really?
He's made that clear right there. But I mean, I look, to me, it doesn't matter who ASU hires. It's just it was time to move on.
No, I think it does matter. I think it does matter. I don't think you can just bring in any name.
I'll put it this way. I have faith that they're going to hire the right person.
Oh, well, I do too. I think
somebody that will have success here.
I think Graham Rossini is a pretty sharp guy.
He's not going to miss.
Look.
Unlike Monty Austin.
I know this is a sport that no one really kind of cares about on the whole, but the ASU women's volleyball team under Van Hill. I mean, who the heck was this guy? And they've been so dynamic. I mean, they've won the Big 12 2 years in a row. Yeah. They've been in the NCAA postseason tournament. I think they got knocked out in the second round this year. I mean, that's a hell of a hire. I didn't know who the hell, but Rossini's bringing in the right people there. I don't even know who their beach volleyball person is,
but he's
again,
good.
Yeah. I mean, he's making a lot of good hires.
No, that's why I have faith in him. That's what I mean by it doesn't matter to me. Like I'm not going to be fretting over it like I was with like who the Cardinals going to hire because they could have messed this up royally. I have 100% confidence that whoever he hires. I'm not saying he's going to win championship, but it's going to be somebody that's going to at least lead you in the right direction and to improve things there. And that's why I kind of think that keep that route out there.
You know something I read that relative to ASU basketball that it's just disheartening. Do you know between Bobby Hurley and Herb Sendek, there's 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Sendek went to 2 NCAAs. Hurley went to 3. That's 5 tournaments in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
In the previous 30 years before Hurley and Sendek, Sun Devils went to 5 NCAA tournaments. I mean, damn, that's 10 tournaments in 50 years? Are you kidding me? I mean, damn.
And you're using tournament term very loosely.
Dayton is a tournament
Dayton really
game.
count.
Dayton
really
is a
count.
tournament game.
In my mind, there's only 64 teams that make the tournament. And Dayton does not count. But if you got to count it, you count it.
It counts because let me tell you something. If you win, Dayton had a chance to go on and win the tournament because they were in the tournament. If they weren't in it, they wouldn't have had that chance.
Yeah.
So there you go, Dale.
Robert says, hey, 63 is not old.
Hey, Robert, I'm projecting 10 years and beyond.
I don't think you can do that as an ASU guy.
I do, unlike Dale. Dale just called me out. I'm one of those guys.
I would be okay with a 5, 6, 7 year guy that sets the foundation and moving forward and sets up the NIL process and does all that
couple
stuff.
Tournament appearances, and hey, maybe somebody else shows interest, or guess what? I got to bring a younger guy with me.
He takes St. Mary's to the tournament, but then he wins in the tournament. I don't want somebody that, this guy goes to the tournament every couple years in this lower league, but doesn't do anything and gets eliminated in the first round. He wins in the first round. The San Diego State coach wins a couple games.
And here's the deal.
That's what I like.
Here's the deal. Whoever comes here is coming to a conference that has a lot of heavyweights.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so
4 or 5 of them on top.
Absolutely.
At least.
Absolutely. And so you're not going to come from a smaller conference that maybe only had one other.
Right.
And so you come in. So what? But
somebody that can compete.
But I don't have a problem with that because you win with players. And if they have the resources that they're going to spend and allocate to get those players, like BYU's did with DeBonza, and I also saw that BYU's getting another one of these 5-star guys.
He's in
so
line.
so they have they're spending the money. If ASU does that, they'll be okay.
But here's my thing. Here's what I'm looking at the next coach. Forget about Arizona, Houston, Kansas, and the other good teams I'm forgetting about in the Big 12. Forget about them. Don't compete with those 5, 6 teams at the top, but be good enough that you can beat everybody else in there. So you're in that 6th spot. You're in that 7th spot.
See, Steve,
that's a minimum.
Steve,
the consistency thing that Bobby Hurley was missing was consistency in beating the bad teams in conference. Get somebody that can beat the bad teams in conference, Coop, and then you can focus on the Arizona and Kansases. I don't want to hear your nonsense right now.
I couldn't play for you.
Yeah.
I couldn't play. Dude, I'm not coming in to be a middling. I'm coming in to be a champion.
Well, then, you know what, Coop? Dreaming's free.
Well, look. Well, that's why I'm going to compete. That's why I'm going to compete.
Yeah, because Arizona State competes at this.
Well, if they spend the money, they can compete. If they spend the money, they can compete. It's all about
my point. See, you take my points all wrong. Compete with those guys. We want you to beat those guys. But you need consistency that Bobby Hurley. Going and losing to UCF and then losing to West Virginia is jokes. You should have beaten both those teams.
If I have players that can compete with the best, trust me, they'll beat those middlings you're talking about. They'll beat those middlings they're talking about. Dude, I couldn't play for Steve. I couldn't. I couldn't, man. I mean, Steve's okay with mediocrity. Dude, I'm not. I ain't feeling mediocrity.
How is going from 3rd to last to finishing 6th place in the Big 12 mediocrity?
Dude, they're pitiful.
In a year.
Look, they're pitiful right now, but that doesn't mean that I have to stay pitiful.
Bruce is the guy that goes, this is the worst restaurant on the planet. This is the best restaurant on the planet. So nobody else can compete with it. And then you go to a bad restaurant and you're just like, this sucks. This can't get improved at all. It's baby steps, Coop. You got to get there slowly.
Dude, you're talking apples and oranges now. Let me tell you something. The next ASU basketball coach that they hire, I hope he has winning the Big 12 in mind.
You should. My point is, though, Bobby Hurley's problem was And
they
you've said
didn't
this,
have the players.
They didn't have the consistency to beat the bad teams in the Big 12. You need a coach that at a minimum can beat the bad teams in the Big 12.
But you do.
At a minimum. That's the standard. That's the baseline, Coop.
But it starts. Look. It starts with.
They'll get in there with this nonsense.
It starts with getting some of those 5-star players, getting some of those guys in here, and that they play. You know, I've seen Bobby bring in some 5-star guys that either get hurt, but that's what they do. They get hurt, and or some might want some like Joshua Christopher wants to protect his first round status, so he sits and doesn't play. Look, I need some players. Because Tommy Lloyd's not going to win without Brandon Burry's a 5-star, Koa Pete without a 5-star. I mean, he's just not.
Right.
But he got those guys in. I need Bobby to get those guys, and I like the fact that he went international because I like Masamba Diop. But see, I already see Masamba Diop's deficiencies. He's just not strong enough. No, I've got to put the dude in the weight room.
Right.
That's the number one thing I'm doing.
That's what the offseason is.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, but here's the deal now. Is he a guy that is going to leave because Bobby's not there? I hope
he
not.
likes he's tied to one of the assistant coaches there. And where that guy go? Yeah, I was reading all about this.
Good.
If that guy leaves, he will follow him, but he's tied to a guy. He came here because of that guy. I can't remember who it was. And he's tied to him. So if he's able to stay, he will stay. If not, he will follow him.
Well, then he needs to stay.
Is what he's doing there. So Robert says, does Jordan not have a brother? Yeah, exactly, Robert. Finish us up here. Get us out of here on this Friday with how great the Suns are looking.
Hey, I look.
Give us some positivity today.
The one thing I love, because I know I was poo-pooing. I'm saying, like, look, the Suns suck right now. They have too many people injured, and we're playing people like Isaiah Livers and Jamari Bouye. That time should be going to Malawak and Rasheer Fleming. Well, darn it, they started giving that time to Malawak and Fleming, and now it's to the point to where it's like, dude, if we get our people back healthy again, can you really go and sit Rasheer Fleming and Malawak now? I mean,
you got to get him in the lineup.
From the math standpoint, you got too many people now that you're trying to find minutes for. But I love the fact that, I mean, look, Rasheer's getting offensive rebounds just based on his athleticism and length. I mean, he's knocking down that 3-point shot. He's blocking shots. Malawak, I mean, I saw him finish 2 left-handed layups the other day. I'm seeing him go up against, I call him box office, but the New Orleans Pelicans big. Well, because when he first came into the league,
I know, and I'm forgetting his name right now.
Williamson.
Yeah,
from Duke.
Yeah. Look,
Zion.
He gave him fits. And he couldn't overpower him because of his length and what he was doing. I'm like, man, I can't sit this dude. I mean, I got to find him in my rotation. But when Mark Williams comes back, I got Williams, I got Oso, and now I got Malawak that I got to get on there. When Brooks comes back, I got to find room to keep Rasheer Fleming in there because Goodwin's going to deserve time, and so does Grayson Allen.
Yeah.
Look, I got too many people now. I got too many people, not enough minutes to play them in.
You know what was so fascinating about last night was the fact that, number one, I like the way that Jalen Green is starting to work his way into the
36
lineup.
36 points.
And becoming part of the group.
He's looking like that dude that was in Houston.
Yes. And another week continuing this. Now, competition's going to obviously get much steeper. But I'm watching Devin Booker after the game getting interviewed. And I'm watching Dylan Brooks walk by in street clothes. You're watching Mark Williams walk by in street clothes. You're watching Grayson Allen walking by in street clothes. This team has a chance. Now, again, they might lose the next 4 games or maybe 3 of the next 4 games.
Oh, dude, they got a tough schedule.
Yes. Back-to-back tonight, and then back-to-back coming up with 2 hard teams, Minnesota,
Boston Celtics, and Minnesota.
Yeah, and
then they finish with the Spurs on this road trip.
Right. Yeah. So, hey, but right now, they're a game out of the 6th spot. They're really 2 games out of the 4th spot.
I think they're 1 out of the 6th and 5th spot because they keep losing. But the thing that I've noticed, and we talked a little bit about it yesterday, is Like the other night when Green faked out the cat and he fell down and he pointed at him, that you're seeing that fun, loving Suns team again. Like the bench exploded.
Dylan Brooks
that's
loved
been
that.
missing. That's been missing like crazy, and we've seen it these last week or so come back to this team. It's like whatever they were going through, the tiredness, the mental fatigue, whatever. It's like something's happened to this team where they're like, we're having fun again.
And here's the deal. So Colin Gillespie, who really seems like he gets it going in the fourth quarter, he noticed that Jalen Green had it going in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I think Green scored something like 17 of his 36 in that fourth quarter. And so what Gillespie did is like, I don't need to shoot the rock.
Right.
And I'm going to feed the guy that's hot. And so I love that about him because I noticed Chris Paul used to do that. Chris Paul, when the Suns, when they were going on their big sprees, their long best record in the league and stuff like that, when the Suns needed tough shots, it was him that was either making those shots or creating for. But when he noticed that someone like Booker or somebody else had it going, he deferred. I mean, he kept feeding him. I saw that from Gillespie last night. I'm like, boy, I like Colin Gillespie a lot.
I mean, they need to do it to the point like they did with Bam and, just feed him 83.
Yeah, man. I mean, look. I tell you what, Spoelstra and Bam are taking too much grief.
They are,
but
at the same time, I just ignore it because I'm like, when Kobe got 51 or Booker got 51, like it's great. But also, you know how you get to that is some shenanigans happen out there. Coop, I'll leave you with this. And Dale, Autumn says, can you please all hug at the end so I know everything's okay?
I'm sitting over minding my own business.
Autumn, I apologize. Look.
So your mom thought you two hated each other, and now we got Autumn at home wondering if we hate each other.
So maybe I'm the problem.
Yeah, there is one constant.
Yeah. Hey, but I'll tell you this, Autumn. Look. I mean, I have organizations, I have teams, I have personnel directors and owners and stuff that are really beginning to tee me off. I just want to win. Is it asking too much for me to be?
It's not realistic.
In the valley, we can't have nice things, Coop.
Yes. We and Dale are jaded guys doing this, and Coop's just like, we just want to win. Robert says, great show today, guys. Love to hear Coop's crazy takes.
Hey, but they're correct.
So we'll get Coop back in here next week for everybody. We're going to get out of here. I got WWE tonight.
WWE?
Oh, yeah. You and Dale can go poo-poo that.
High?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And everything.
You
we're
know
going to have
that's
fun.
fake, don't you? You know that's fake, don't you?
What?
You know WWE's
No,
fake.
it's scripted.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Hey,
fake.
by the way, Jelly Roll's in town. He'll be on tonight, so I might get to meet Jelly Roll tonight.
He's at WWE.
Yeah, oh yeah. See,
He's got more class
all the
than
cool
that.
people are going to be at SmackDown
He's got more
tonight.
class than that.
All the lame squares are going to be wherever they're going to be tonight, folks. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.